Megan, I'll tell you one thing. It is getting cold out. What was the average temperature this morning?
This morning it was 30.
I know, like going out, putting gloves back on, jackets back on. You don't think about it. You know what I like about our new sponsor?
What's that?
They have a hot hydration beverage that you can use to get your salt and sodium and all that stuff without having to drink a cold drink after your workout.
This is very true. This is very true. So our sponsor for this episode is Element. If you haven't heard of them, they're a 0 sugar electrolyte drink mix. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of sodium, all the potassium, magnesium,
all the stuff,
all the electrolytes you need.
I've been using it. You've been using it. What do you think?
I love it. And the new hot drink that we're talking about comes in 3 flavors. It's the chocolate medley, as they call it. So it's chocolate mint, chocolate chai, and chocolate raspberry.
Okay, I know you. What's your favorite?
Chocolate chai.
I would go with chai as well.
It's really nice because a lot of times in the winter you forget to drink water because you don't feel as thirsty like you do in the summer. And so when you have a nice hot beverage, it's a perfect reminder to get your electrolytes and fluid in without much effort. So the exciting thing for our listeners is that you can get a free Element sample pack with any purchase if you use our link. And our link is drinkelement.com/thedrop.
Yeah. So go out and get yourself some Element, and we're going to continue drinking it.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you soon. Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
And this is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And lucky for you, you're listening to The Grit.
No.
Yeah, we're going to talk about The Grit.
Okay.
Still, this is the Drop podcast.
Yeah.
So.
We haven't changed the name of it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with that then. But we're going to talk about The Grit real quick because we have a party coming up. And we're in the middle of Grit right now.
Right. Yeah.
And we'll get into all the gritty things that you've been doing, Robbie.
Okay.
And a little bit that Megan's been doing.
All right.
I've been doing the standard. But anyhow, there's a party coming up on January 27th if you want to hang.
That's a Saturday.
It is a Saturday. It's going to start at noon. It's going to be at Ministry Brewing in Baltimore. And we're going to have some special guests.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you know who Rob Perez is?
No.
You probably do if you went on Instagram and looked at that Robbie.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like
It's spelled R-O-B. That's his name.
Rob.
Yeah, Rob.
And then in there,
It's phonetic. He's phonetically spells out his handle.
Okay.
That's why it's
Anyway, he's coming. We're gonna have Herm Runs.
Yeah.
Alex.
You got that right.
Hermanson. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna have Allison Staples that you might know from.
Oh, Allison's coming.
Yeah, from the Train to NYC. We're gonna have Lo Johnson from Train to NYC. A Tribe Called Run is gonna be there.
Uh-huh.
We're going to have Faster Bastards there. Believe Run Club is going to be there. It's going to be a jolly time. We're going to be serving up beers from Ministry, which is a brewery. And
you can get day drunk on our dime.
And
ASICS,
yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, kind of.
Day tipsy.
Right.
And
And then only if you're taking the MARC train.
Yeah, or running home for Grit.
Do people take the MARC train to here?
I don't think on the weekends.
How close can you get? That's not even that close.
It is that close.
You can get to the
Penn Station.
And then
yeah, but that's
run down
5 miles?
It's like 3.
Not even if you ran a straight line from Penn Station.
From Ministry,
maybe 2 miles.
Yeah, 2 miles probably from Ministry to Penn Station.
I'm gonna fact check.
Oh,
You can fact check with your Google machine.
It's shorter than you think it is.
You're probably right,
Yeah.
but I would just like to know.
Maybe 3
Anyways,
miles.
if you've ever been to a Believe in the Run Grit party, I gotta say, they're pretty fun.
Oh yeah, it's a good time.
What'll happen is
2.8 miles.
Okay. So I basically
less than 3 miles. Yeah. There's going to be, besides the beverages and the food, there's going to be a little 3-mile jaunt.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a run and a party, but boom. And if it's open to everyone, it's free. That's
You don't
pretty
even
much all
have
you
to
need
be
know.
participating in Grit.
Yeah.
You can just come, hang out.
But you'll feel super lame if you're not.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to be a runner. You can
You
just,
will not. It's already closed. You don't shame
if you
people.
dress as a runner and then go out and then just go around the block and come back, no one's going to notice.
Or like an astronaut.
Yeah.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah.
Totally fine.
But anyway, that's going to be a blast. And then if you can't make it to Baltimore, but you happen to be going to the Olympic trials,
Orlando, a little warmer.
what are we doing there, Meg?
We're doing some really fun stuff. We'll be there with Hoka this year, and we're going to be doing some content capture with them. And then the most important thing, if you're going to be there, is Thursday evening at 6 p.m. We'll be doing a shakeout run, and we don't have all the details of what exactly will be there and who and what you'll be getting, but we can tell you.
We do know that there's 300 pairs of Gooder sunglasses that we'll be handing out.
Oh, there you
Yeah.
go.
And you'll have the first opportunity to try Hoka's new race shoe.
Yes, that we will be unveiling.
Are we allowed?
Yeah.
We're not allowed to talk about it yet.
No, can't
I don't
even
think
say
we're
the
saying the name.
I wasn't gonna say the name.
Don't say it.
All right.
name. Shut your face.
Anyway, and then we're also going to be participating in, because we're kind of partnered up with Sidious Mag on this weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll also be doing their shakeout run the following day Friday evening, and trying to learn more about the names of people, since they know everybody's name.
How many times can you shake out in 1 week?
Dude,
I think there'll be, like, if you really wanted to, if you hit all of the shakeout runs that week, you could probably do like 20.
Are they
Yeah.
still called shakeouts, or
They're
are
just
they
runs.
called?
They're
Okay.
group
just runs. I think ours is a shack out,
Yeah.
not a shakeout.
Yeah.
Because we're doing it with Track Shack.
Shack out. Yeah. I've done that
Shack
a couple
out.
times.
Anyway, so we're super excited to be down at Trials. I'm a little bummed, Meg, you're not running.
I know, me too. Psych. I'm really happy I'm not doing another marathon. I would be at the back of that pass.
Would you be going for trying to make the Olympics if you were in the trials? What?
I mean, it would be great. Like,
I would
what?
I
is
would
it?
be trying to, like, I don't know, maybe not be dead last, but I think I would be dead last.
But listen to this.
No way.
What if this happened, though, this year? All the people that are doing the Olympic trials are running, and you're in the back. But somehow some catastrophe happens. A building falls over, crushes everybody, and you're the lone survivor.
You're
Guess who's
bas-
going to the Olympics?
I mean, that's basically what happened on the 18th hole at the Waterbury Open in Happy Gilmore. When
You heard it right.
when the whole structure fell down, and then he had to make that amazing putt. So that could be you.
Okay. Well, I'm not running, so we're good.
Do you know what's crazy? Do you saw that post from CIM?
Oh yeah.
That Megan was one of the top 10 most followed people.
Number
Tracked.
7?
Yeah.
Number 7. How many people were following you?
It was like over 2,200, which is
That's insane.
nuts.
Did you know that?
No.
Oh.
I had
No, because
idea.
remember she was trying to do it undercover.
I was like the worst kept secret ever. Apparently, it was definitely not a well kept secret.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine if you actually told people. You might be up towards the top.
Now, I got a question for you.
I didn't even know like half the people on that list. I feel bad.
Well, how crazy is it
Sorry.
that the people on that list are everyday quote or influencers or like people that
Media
are just
people.
Yeah,
Basically, everyone except for CJ Albertson, who
Right.
kind of is anyways.
but he's a pro.
Yeah,
but let's
he
think
also has
about
a
this.
social.
Yeah.
How, like, a lot of people are kind of butthurt that people weren't following athletes, that they were following media people. My feeling is that this is a clear indication to both brands and to races and to pro athletes that you need to have a personality that people can root for.
Well, that and if there's someone listening right now and you want to make a ton of money in the next 5 years, just open up a consultancy business
For pro athletes.
for pro athletes,
Yeah.
or where it's written into their contract that you get a certain percentage of future earnings, and then, or you can work with the brands directly, and then like the more you elevate their profile, the more partnerships they get, the more
Yeah.
you get, everyone wins. But because I think a lot of people just don't know how to manage social media.
Right.
And if you do that for athletes, you will have an endless amount.
Well, the thing is that there's agents out there that are working with people who are creating content to work deals with them with
Yeah.
brands. We don't work with one, but Alex works with one.
Yeah.
And
But that's what I mean. If you, but he knows how to make content
right,
already.
here's what I think is going to happen. I actually think that business would be short-lived. I believe that the athletes coming up right now who are in college or in high school or in those places, they get it. They get the whole, you need to be out there. You can't just rely on your splits.
But
Yeah,
not,
but
but
some-
not all pros have that personality.
That's
like
what I'm
you're
talking
so
about.
focused on your running that I don't think you care or want to have to think about that side of it.
Because that's why there's plenty of NIL athletes now who are making a ton of money who go to like a D3 school or whatever, or like who aren't the best athletes in college. But like there's just people who don't. It's a talent. It's another skill is how to develop social media and do it. And some people just don't know how to do it.
When we talked to Erin Bailey, that's basically what I told her that she should do with her agency. I was like, hey, get these athletes up to stuff on, manage their social.
I also think they're probably harder to work with than an influencer who's willing to go take the time to create content on their own and put it out there. Like it's probably like pulling teeth for some of these
I wonder
athletes.
if it's also a mindset that the athletes are like, look, I'm really fast. I kick ass on the thing. Maybe. It should speak for itself.
Maybe.
But I think that's the thing that we've discovered with all of this, that nobody really cares about your splits. They care about your story. Yeah. And I think that's why Emma Bates has done so well, because she's performs really well and lets you inside. Like you get to see what she's like as a person.
And she doesn't do anything particularly like crazy. She just does.
She did get goats.
Yeah. And she lets her personality out there. So that's a huge part of it.
What about Team Boss? I mean, Team Boss as a whole usually does pretty good.
Is really good.
But I would say if you worked with a brand, you can have like a week-long summit and then just shoot content the whole week around them.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past.
And then just basically trickle that out over the years. Right. Then you don't have to,
I think ASICS tried to do that at Boulder with some of the athletes there. They did a whole bunch of shoots and got content. I think the issue is that you need to do it. It would be like 4 retreats a year, quarterly retreats. Mm-hmm. You get professional photographers out there. You get videographers out there.
Yeah.
You create all that content and then you schedule it out. But the thing is that works sort of. But I think the other side of it is the thing that's charming is when Emma gets on her phone, puts the reverse camera on, talks to it and says, I really wanted to be in trials. I'm injured. I'm not going to make it.
That sucks, by the way.
It does suck, but it did also like that. How much are you going to root for her when she comes back?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, that's true.
And that's the personality side. So it's one thing to have the glossy stuff, but just that daily, like Kira D'Amato's done it with her Strava account. Mm-hmm. Like just making stupid jokes has endeared her to everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And that's not like a thing you can manufacture.
No, I know, but I'm saying that there's some things I feel like you can. I just feel like there's, even it's a coaching business that revolves around developing people's.
So you have your nutritionist, you have your person that works you out for your performance,
coach.
Yeah, and then you have your social media
PR person.
I mean, that will, if you want a long career, which one is the most? I mean, obviously they're all valuable because you need to perform well. But which one is like gonna keep you out there longer?
Yeah,
well, let's take a look at the
social side for sure.
Let's look at like Shalane, Dina. Even Joan Benoit. They're no longer competitive up front, but they found a way to be of value to the brand.
Right.
And I think that's what we're talking about is
that's what
continue to bring the value.
By long career, I didn't mean like athletic career. I meant if you want to be in the sport and make money for, the rest of your life, you got to figure out a way to go beyond just the performances. Anyways,
Meg number 7.
Yeah, 7th most tracked athlete. Who was
at CIM?
The guy who was first,
That's who Mike Coe was there like filming as far as I know.
Nick Bear? Is that his name?
Apparently, there's some controvery wrapped around him.
I don't know. I guess he's pretty fast, though.
Yeah.
Does he like lift weights and stuff?
He's been. He's one of the names that came up a lot when I always ask like, who do you want to hear on the podcast?
Oh, really?
He's one of them.
I'd love to have him on because we got I don't know. There's somebody mentioned something that sounded like a rumor, so I don't even want to bring it up.
Sorry. Go ahead.
He has 1 million followers.
Yes, he lifts weights a little bit. That dude could throw me across the room if I was weighed down with sandbags. Well, good job, Meg. That is.
I know. I was like, I'm really glad that 2,200 some people watched me epically fail.
But that goes right into what we were just
Do
talking
you like
about.
do you like that they posted your time on there?
I
too?
know. I was like, come on, dude. It's like my slowest
I know the
marathon in a long time.
one time a marathon posted Megan's time. It's
No, I
the
don't care.
lowest one in a while.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's what it was. But anyway. Okay,
Anyways.
so grit. Let's go back to
Yeah.
that because Robbie, you did a gritty run on Sunday.
My first question is, Robbie, you ended up doing a 50K
Yeah, more unfortunately.
in some shitty weather.
Yeah, it was okay.
I mean, it was muddy.
Yeah.
It was like, it wasn't the best conditions.
Right.
And I was thinking that day, if it wasn't grit, would Robbie do this? And if he hadn't mentioned that he was going to do it, would he do it?
Yeah, I still would have.
You would have.
Because I had been wanting to do that for a couple years regardless. So I remember over Christmas I was trying to do a 50K.
Yeah.
And then it didn't work out because my friend got COVID like right before it. And by the way, really glad I didn't do that one because that was on the Appalachian Trail in PA, which is just all rocks and not really like runnable. Whereas this route had 8 miles of road interspersed in it.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like,
it's like hat.
I was like very glad I didn't do the other one because I would have been out there. And with obviously no aid stations, it would have been terrible. So,
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about this one. What shoe did
Okay.
you run in?
So I ran in the Brooks Caldera 7, which
And?
is it's like a long haul shoe, kind of meant for longer distances, comfort / performance. I really liked it. I ran in the Caldera 6, the Hat 50K 2 years ago. So I felt like this was a nice successor to that shoe. A little bit more nimble maybe, but it has such a wide base that it's really stable. So I taped my ankles up before.
Like, when you say you tape your ankles up, what are you doing?
Okay, so
We
I just
talked about this
yeah,
on the
we talked about it
podcast.
in the podcast coming out in a couple weeks. So I do KT tape. Pat Blair, who ran this race, he told me this is what he does. So take KT tape and put it around your ankle one time, just to have something that's not as sticky as medical tape, or
Okay.
whatever
Yeah.
physicians. I don't know.
So you do like a crisscross? Or is
So
it just
I just do it like one time around, and it seems to be fine for me. I mean, I'm sure there's a better way, like proper way to do it, but it gives it enough support that.
When you say one time around, though, not like a collar, like you start at this ankle, go under the
Like
foot.
on the top, no, just like on the top of my foot and then around my ankle.
Huh.
And then, I mean, I probably should do it like under my foot, but I hate when there's something in my arch. Like I hate that feeling.
Plus,
so.
if it starts to peel up, and then you got
Yeah.
something in your shoe.
So that seems to work pretty well. I mean, I didn't have any close calls or anything the whole day. And so, yeah, so the route, the whole thing's called Patapsco Party. It's essentially a fat ass trail race. And
For people who don't know what a fat ass is,
yeah, it's like it's not an official race, but people help out. There will be aid stations, and obviously usually smaller. And then it's a course that someone makes up, and then you kind of do it. They've been doing it for years now, every first weekend in January. And so, I guess so. Adam Driscoll, one of the guys out there, I think he just pays for a bus, like a coach bus. And then everyone just pitches in to give a driver a tip. So probably a nice morning for him. And because there's like 40 people. And then we meet at the Guinness Brewery in Halethorpe. And then they drive you out to like Sykesville or whatever. So in Maryland, there's a park called Patapsco State Park. And that it's like kind of winds through all the suburbs in a way. And so then you start up there and then basically run end to end from there to the Guinness Brewery. And there's like 4 aid stations interspersed, like 8 miles or so apart, and stocked with like really good food. Someone had Maryland crab soup, which was like...
and somebody said that
Nice.
sounds gross, but I don't think they probably know what Maryland crab soup is.
They were thinking cream of crab.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
that would be gross.
Yeah. No, Maryland crab's like
Tomato-based.
stock based. Yeah, tomato soup.
Which on a cold day,
It was
the
so
salty
good. Yeah,
tomato
Yeah.
soup
it really
hits the spot.
So you had some.
yeah. And then I think it was right after that I went too hard. It was either right after that. Or right
You felt
before that.
rejuvenated?
At one point, or no, it was before that. After the first aid station, I was like feeling good and going out with the faster group and didn't feel bad. And then it caught up to me. And I was like, that is definitely a mistake.
What mile were you in at this point?
Like 17 or 18.
Okay. I mean, that's later. Like, it's not crushing. That's not like you went out at the mile 6.
Right. But I was like, I knew it was longer. It's 33-mile course, not 31. So it's a lot, like 15.
Yeah, I don't think even with hat I've ever landed on the like 31.
Right.
Point.
0.07.
Yeah. It's always been like a little longer.
But so, I mean, it felt, I definitely wasn't trained for it because I've only done 3 long runs since New York City. And one of them was like, 2 of them were in the last week or 2 weeks, week and a half. And so I was like, oh yeah, this was probably a mistake to actually.
How does your body feel now? 2 days later?
Have you run since then?
No. It's pretty sore still. I did take an Epsom salt bath.
All right.
Sunday,
Yeah.
which seemed to help. But I think I was really wrecked. Just my body in general was kind of like all over because that night I felt like I had a little bit of a fever, and then I woke up and my whole bed was soaked like straight through, like everything. And I was like, dude, what is happening?
I mean, 50Ks don't always sound that bad. It's like what?
That's what tricked me.
I know they don't. it's 5 miles more than I mean, in your case, this is more like 8 miles more than a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that you're walking some of the time. You're going to be walking up the hills. You're going to be doing that. But in these conditions with the mud and not running and having on top of that.
And it was having on top of that what?
I was going to say, I'm going to say you haven't done a long run.
Right.
It was muddy out there.
Yeah.
And I believe you had something, what was it, like 3,000, 5,000 feet of elevation?
Like 3,000, yeah.
Okay.
So decent.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like considering that you haven't been training on the trails. I mean, you went on a trail run with Kacharski a little while ago.
Yeah, that's the one that was a week and a half ago. Yeah.
I mean, it's somewhat, I still think it's somewhat impressive just to get out there. But I also feel like towards the end, you had to be like, was this a good choice?
Yeah. I mean, I will say, I wasn't sure I wasn't sure if I was going to finish, but I was like doing that thing.
At 18, you said you had
yeah.
What happened?
That's when I just felt horrible. I was like everything was sore, and I'm just like, mentally, you're like, I still had to do almost the same distance I just did, but now I'm hurting like kind of everywhere, in my shoulders and my neck, everything, but I was like, you know how it is in an ultra or even a marathon where you have the down
Waves.
moments, and you're like, all right, let's just see, I'll get through this, and so then I did feel a little bit better doing some run walking, and then you'd go through those spurts and just kept. And then there's a couple more aid stations, which is really helpful because you're like, all right, I just got to get to that. And then the next one.
You're breaking it up.
And then the one had like Gatorade and ibuprofen and electrolytes, like salt stick. So that was the other thing too, is that I was like, oh, it's an ultra. I'm just going to be like, not going too hard at this. Probably didn't properly like do all the hydration stuff the night before. Because I was like, it's not like a real marathon.
I'm gonna walk a little bit. Yeah,
that's what tricked me. Because I was like,
you're out there even longer though.
Yeah, like 7.5 hours.
So, question for you: you told us you signed up for Hat 50K, which is in March.
Yeah.
Are you excited about it, or did this do the good thing that it scared you a little bit so that you'll train?
I think it scared me a little bit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like I was still gonna train for it, but I feel like I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to
take this more seriously.
If I want to do well in any way, because it's just not super fun. But Sam Edgen, one of our trail reviewers, he ran with me a lot, like for the last 10 miles, and honestly, like pretty much saved me because he would wait for me if I was like needed to take a break and stuff like that.
Oh, sweet.
And so, and we cut like. You have an option to take the paved gristmill trail in Patapsco the whole way back, or you can like go back through the woods and then come down. And we just took the paved road, so it was like a half a mile or less.
And the Caldera was okay on the roads?
It was okay. It's definitely not like the best option on
But you didn't have to go
the
uphill.
road. Any uphills on the roads were just I walked them for sure. But yeah, it was I don't know. It was a good day. It was weird. It was the worst part about it was that when we ended up at the Guinness Brewery, my family met me there, and we had that was fine. That was
the
fine.
worst part was my family met me at the end.
No, that was actually fine. They were great. My kids were well behaved and everything. It was a miracle.
Wow.
And we got dinner, and at that point I was starving. By the way, Element, dude, saved my life. Like seriously, I know we already mentioned them as an ad, but I told Kimmy to bring one of those because I forgot it, and within 10 minutes of taking it, like my headache was pretty much gone. I felt like energy levels back.
I think
crazy.
you are a very salty sweater, and you need to be taking in more sodium than you think you do.
I agree.
See, here's the thing. I believe that he needs more sodium than he has been taking, but I've run with Robbie and he doesn't sweat that much.
Yeah, I don't sweat that much.
But the composition, I think, is like, I think he's sweating pure salt over there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So he's just shaking crystals of salt up.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a lot of salt crystallization on me. But so then, so we got dinner, and I was like, burger sounds great. And it's a $23 burger. It's like Guinness. It's like, Apple Blossom Farms, whatever. And it came out, and it was, it looked like it was 2 smash burgers, except they were definitely frozen burgers.
Oh,
like
no.
I bit into it, and I was like, what the hell? There's no way. Like, you're charging me $23 for a frozen burger. And
That's such a bummer.
A frozen burger, it's
Yeah.
fine if you're drunk, but like not when you're in that situation. So I sent it back, and that is probably one of like 2 times in my life that I've sent food back. And I just got
Did they give you a new one?
I just got a fried chicken sandwich at that
You
point.
got to go to John Brown's.
I know, I
when
want
we
to.
did that winter grit run last time on the trails, so good.
I want to. Yeah, I definitely want to hit that up. They closed the one in Remington though. They had a Remington.
Yeah, we
place.
just go to the one up in the county there.
So, anyways,
All right, first check-in. Man, second week of grit. You got the excitement out of the way of starting. The first week's always fun because you're like, hey, what am I going to do? And then the excitement starts wearing off and the grind starts to be apparent. The weather gets a little colder. Maybe it's windy or maybe it's raining, but you got to keep that motivation going. So consider this your slap on the back. Good job, buddy, and keep going. All right, so that's pretty rad. Babe, you had a milestone run. Like by the way, Robbie, where are you at? You're at like 66 miles for
which
grit
is,
right
by
now?
the way, the second most mileage I've ever done in a week.
Wow.
Wow.
And that was basically coming off 20-mile weeks since New York City.
Just meant for it.
So that was probably a mistake.
Yeah. So
All right.
Megan, what about you? Because like where are you at with mileage right now? I know you're probably up there pretty good.
I logged them yesterday. I think I was at like 94, so now I'm probably at 100 and something miles for the month.
94?
I was
Okay.
yesterday,
Dang.
Let me see.
I think.
And this is just chilling miles.
Well, so yesterday
Well,
for
yeah,
36, my 36th birthday, I ran a 36K in the morning.
All right. Happy birthday to you. I know I already told you that, but just
Yeah,
I want to
thank
say it
you.
again so everyone knows I said it.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So yeah, I mean the 22, it was like a little over 22 miles is 36K. Bumped me up a little bit there. But
Let me see. Oh, there it is.
it's been fun.
Wow. How do you feel about being 36 overall? Does age affect you?
No, it didn't until then I realized the next Olympic cycle I'll be 40.
Oh wow, you'll be in the Masters div.
And that I don't love that thought. So
That's actually wild to think
I'm gonna have
about.
to live up the
Yeah,
next
but
4 years.
Won't you have starting at 38?
Yeah, that'll be probably when the window opens. We don't really know.
And we've seen like Kira D'Amato crush it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's inspiring to have people like Kira and Sarah Hall and those women out there. And I always forget her name, but the Australian woman who's like 43 and just broke another record in the marathon.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, yeah, I won't dwell on the age thing too much. I don't think.
Yeah.
Try
Yeah.
not to.
I don't think it's a real. I don't know if it's a real number. I guess it is.
I feel like I at least have 4 more years, right?
I feel like it is
didn't you
super
do your
subjective,
your inside tracker said you were like,
Oh, my inside tracker says I'm 28. Maybe that's why I think I'm 28.
Yeah, I would go by that. No, I would just put that on forms and everything.
Officially,
Yeah.
28 years old.
consult my inside tracker, please.
Well, Mike Wardian posted how he was, getting his inside tracker stuff done. I'm like, dude, I can tell you right now what age you are. You're a 10-year-old who just ate a bunch of gummy bears and drank Mountain Dew.
Or-
that's basically Mike Wardian.
Or he's 100 and he just happens to be
Yeah, he could be
a wizard.
That's true. That is true. He's basically living inside of a cave in Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
I watched that. Oh, I told you that movie All Quiet on the Western Front.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking about that how muddy it was on that course. Not comparing myself to
A World War I
trench warfare
German.
in World War I.
German soldier.
But I was imagining if you had to just be there with the equipment that they had at the time, hanging out in those mud pits for 6 months on end.
Wool and cotton and stuff like that.
Dude, what? Like, how long do you think you could last in a trench?
Me?
Yeah.
The way that I'm conditioned right now?
Yeah.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Dude,
If my phone runs out of battery, I'd be like, I'm out.
there's parts of that movie where I'm like, I would just kill myself. Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
because when they're you're basically, that's what's happening. It's just suicide over a few months because eventually you're going to die there.
Well, that's the surprising thing about, we can get into a philosophical thing about warfare.
I don't know that we want to do that. That sounds
Anyway,
like a
yeah,
real
I did
downer.
60.
Boo, more
I'm at
more depressing
66 miles for grit right now, but I'm just following my coach's training.
How's that going?
It's going well. My confidence got a little knocked this past week because I was hitting all my speed work goals, and this past week I did a workout and I was slow on everything, and I was just like, but yeah, I get another shot this week to go after it.
The air went out of your balloon.
It did, because I was like, I got this, man. I'm crushing, and then had that workout, and I was like, "Ooh." But
So
you got to have bad workouts in training. Like, that
Yeah.
just happens.
Yeah.
I know, but then I get all in my head. The next one, so he's been ramping me up. I started with 800s repeats, went to 1K repeats, or 400s, 800s, 1K, and this week it's mile repeats. And I think he was nice to me and kind of dialed back some of the paces and has me go faster each mile
Okay.
to try to probably build up my confidence. But yeah, it's also weird. I used a shoe that I didn't have as much confidence in last week, and for the speed work, and I'm like, that would suck if for some reason I feel like I can only do it with a certain other shoe.
What shoe did you?
Is
you
it-
can't say it.
Is the one that you ran in or the one you wanted to run in the Alpha Fly 3?
This week I'll throw back on the Alpha Fly 3. I seem to hit my paces with that shoe.
All right.
The other shoe is a shoe that I would probably end up using for the marathon.
Gotcha.
So,
So you're training. Are you training for Boston? Or
right now, that is the race. I potentially also have a bib for London.
okay.
So if for some reason I don't get the bib for Boston, I'll do London.
Okay. Man, tough choices there.
I know. Real struggle.
Well, I
for
might
you
have
in
to
the
get
spring.
my travel agent on booking a hotel in London just in case.
Yeah. Your travel agent. Yeah. I don't know. I felt like. Oh, I talked about that on last week. Never mind. We can continue. I was gonna say like the road marathon thing. I'm like, I think I got a little bit burned out there.
Yeah, but now you can get burned out on trails.
Yeah. I think
When you
trails.
flip-flop back.
I feel like trails are still like it's an open-ended question as to how good I can do. Where I feel like on the roads. No, I think I could do better on the roads for sure. But there's just something about the pavement that I'm just not feeling right now.
I also just love the pressure. For me, when I did all my trail stuff, the pressure's off. Like, you can't compare, like, Patapsco Party does not compare apples to apples to Hat 50K, doesn't compare to another trail race. So it really takes that, like, when you think of a marathon, it's pretty hard. You know, okay, here's the milestones for what you consider a fast marathon. For you. On trails, you have no idea, and you also know like, hey, if things get hard, there's no shame in walking up a hill.
Yeah.
Or
You know what I did with my watch this week?
Oh yeah.
I switched to Ks.
Like
Kilometers.
yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So I have no idea how far or fast I'm running.
Yeah.
Like the I did it for the 36K, so I knew when I hit 36K. But like when I'm out there, I had no idea what the paces were because I can't.
Do you know what's
I
upsetting?
can't do that math in my head.
Robbie, what do you think she ran the 22 miles in? Just easy, going out, having fun.
I only speak in Ks, so can you translate that?
Yeah, it'd probably be like a 4-minute something K.
Actually, I don't do that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
See, it's confusing.
It was like a 7:20 pace for.
Oh yeah, I'm looking
22
at it.
miles.
It's right here on my screen. 7:23. That's
for 22 miles.
for a birthday run on a freaking Monday.
Yeah, and she said it just felt good. So,
Man,
can you imagine?
That's a 4:35 km.
that seems like a world record.
That
It might be.
Like that's why I think I like Ks because I'm like, wow, look how many I did and look how fast this looks.
Yeah.
Seems fast.
So did you have any idea while you were running how fast you were running?
No, like
Okay.
not at all. Like in my mind, I was like, this feels like 7:45s.
Were you surprised?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like especially at the end because there was like I was telling Thomas like there were some sub 7s in there like unintentionally, and I think if I had seen that on my watch, I would have been like, oh, I should probably slow down.
Here's the difference, though, Robbie. Like when I'm running and it feels like 7:45, it's usually 8 to 9 minutes miles.
Yeah, I love that when you think you're flying and then you look at your watch and it's
That was today's run, man.
8:55.
I was like, I feel great. I'm cruising along, and I got back, and it was like, I wasn't trying to push the pace. It's an easy run today, but I was like, I feel great. I felt like things were really smooth. I felt like my gait turnover was good.
Oh yeah.
And I got
you
home
think
and
you're
I
in a
was like-
Tracksmith ad?
Yeah, and I got home, it was like 9 something, and
Yeah.
I'm like, shh.
Not that that's slow, but compared to
No, but when
your personal fitness.
Yeah, my little speedometer land. If I feel like I'm running well, like if I feel like okay, so running with the faster bastards, I usually run a little bit faster, but it doesn't feel faster because you're in a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's like 8:30s, 8:40s, and it feels nice, conversational.
Yeah.
Having fun, and I felt like today, I was like, I'm moving much faster than I was on Saturday.
Yeah.
And I go and I just feel totally relaxed. My heart rate's low, everything. And it turns out, yeah, your heart rate's low. 'Cause
You thought
Shredding
you're
along.
peaking in your fitness.
yeah. Like, here we go. Workout's going to work out this week.
Have you thought about taking colostrum? Is that on your radar at all?
I don't think I know what that is.
Yeah, what does that one do?
That's the one where it's like, isn't colostrum like the stuff like when you're breastfeeding?
Oh,
You know how people are taking that these days?
Yeah, we talked to Feathers about that, Meg.
We
Oh
did.
yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Because I remember you guys brought that up, and then I heard someone like hawking it this past week.
Yeah, there's nothing.
as like
Oh,
no,
yeah.
a thing.
There's nothing in it.
At first, yeah,
Like, that's no good.
that's a word that like at first it sounds like coloss. It sounds like a Marvel superhero or something.
Or colostomy.
And then it turns real bad once it gets to that strum part.
Yeah.
Colostrum, what is that? And then you find out what it really is.
There's
It's
a
that-
brand called Wonder Cow.
Yeah.
That's the one. I
Colostrum
think that's
powder.
the one because it. I don't even know how they get in there before the milk comes out. Is it before the milk comes out?
So when somebody has a newborn,
Yeah,
the first phase is colostrum.
Yeah.
And then
that's the appetizer phase.
yeah, well,
With the
no,
mozzarella, they make
it's-
mozzarella sticks out of that.
it's supposed to get you real, like it's calorie dense, like insane calories.
oh yeah,
Like you're getting the baby ready for life.
dude, you're robbing those babies of some vital nutrients.
I know. I feel bad. You're taking the cow babies
Having
colostrum.
So it's like supposed to help your immune system, but like I feel like you don't need that now.
What about taking ketones?
You also don't need
dude,
those.
if you level up with ketones and colostrum, just all the
Dude,
hard,
and
hard
then
C sounding words.
and then you take the Morton bicarb.
Oh, sorry, Ralphie.
Then you take the Morton bicarb.
Oh yeah,
You might explode.
carbs, ketones, and colostrum.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, there's no telling what could happen at that point. You might run You might not need those alpha flies if you got that trifecta going on.
Throwing a Martin solid.
It's weird though. At first I thought it was weird that they took it from a cow. Then I was like, oh, I drink milk like every day, so I guess it's not that weird.
Do you drink milk every day?
Thing.
Almost every day.
Like a glass of milk?
I do love milk. I will not go lie.
Do you know who loves milk the most of anybody I've ever met?
What?
My son, Henry.
Oh, really?
Dude goes through milk. And
We should have a milk party.
dude, he loves that.
Wait, when are you drinking milk?
A lot of time, I'm a sucker for cookies and milk. I'll say that.
Wait, but like, what time of day is this happening?
When my sugar levels are dipping right before bed.
Okay, so this is bedtime milk and cookies.
Yeah, not all the time, but I would say that is if there's a weakness.
Do you warm the milk or do you? Nice
I'm
cold.
not a 1940s grandmother. No, ice cold.
Put a little treacle in it.
Get that pudding that we're talking about. It is
Floor pudding.
There's something so I don't know, like thirst quenching about it, but
that is the opposite of milk.
I don't think of it, but it's
like
creamy, the
satisfying, I don't know.
denseness.
Yeah.
And it really is. Like, I understand. I love a good chocolate milk. And like today
Chocolate milk is very different than milk.
I did granola with milk.
There's this kid in college who they called him the milkman, because he actually, his family owned a dairy farm, and he would bring in the glass.
So the name works.
Yeah, the glass bottles of milk that were, I think they get it just straight out. Maybe
That's
shake
supposed
it
to
up.
be the good stuff.
Dude, it tasted like a milkshake, but it was just milk. Like it was so.
That's the full fat milk. Yeah.
There's people that
it was
will
good,
try to
dude.
buy that, and I remember that it's somewhat illegal.
Yeah, because I don't think it's homogenized.
Yeah,
or
you
pasteurized.
could get very sick.
Yeah, well, it's probably
It's worth the risk.
It's a gamble.
yeah. Worked out.
It is. I mean, if you actually think about what milk is, though, it's kind of, it's weird.
That's why you don't think
yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess there's a lot of things that are weird if you really think about it.
That's why you don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You ruin it for yourself.
Just prefer to be left in the darkness.
Although I did see how hot dogs are made, and now I don't ever eat them again because you can't unsee that.
You won't ever eat a hot dog again?
I haven't had one
Since when?
like years.
What happens?
That's why when we go to Falmouth, I'm always like, oh, geez, what am I going to do? I think I eventually just eat one there. That's probably once a year.
I have to say they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
After a
Falmouth.
race.
Oh
yeah.
my God! Yeah, a little mustard on that sucker.
Mhm.
Speaking of food, do you ever use like crock pot?
Yeah, not a ton, but sometimes, yeah.
See, this morning when we were leaving the house, I cooked chili in the crock pot.
Yeah.
So I love doing that. But we took, you know what papita salsa is from Trader Joe's?
Yeah.
It's like my favorite salsa.
It's good, yeah.
That, a Modelo beer, papita salsa, salt and pepper, and chicken thighs
Okay.
are cooking in the house right now.
Yeah, it sounds good.
And I love it when we do this because when we get home, the house just smells like
Yeah.
a
I'd say
Mexican
that's
restaurant.
the probably best thing about a crock pot is that it is basically a potpourri
Potpourri.
machine.
I was gonna say potpourri.
Dude, remember when those were cool?
Yeah.
I feel
People,
like my mom
people coming over and
went
eating
all
it.
in on that. Yeah.
It would happen. That phased out.
because it was at the same time that those chips, the vegetable chips, came in style.
Yeah.
And I think they
You think that was the
I
thing?
think
I
it
don't
did.
think that was it.
They had you put the things in the chargers on the wall. Do you remember that? Like little gel packs of potpourri that basically diffused for the rest of your life.
And what about the oils?
Yeah.
I think that's the problem is that after a while you just have a bowl of shit in your house, and you're like,
Well, you
What
got to
am I
flush
gonna-
that. You still.
yeah, it just becomes garbage on that
Yeah.
you just leave on your counter.
Oh yeah. There's just so many contraptions trying to make the air smell good.
Yeah.
It's like, how bad does your house?
I know.
I do wonder that. I'm like, man, what if my house smells? I'm just used to it. Not
It's
like
a-
in a
it-
bad
it
way, but
probably
in like
does.
a normal way.
Everybody
humans living in
house
a
has a
house.
scent, I think.
Do you ever run past houses and you smell them from the outside?
What kind of smells?
Oh, dude, like
Mothball?
mothballs is one of them.
And then, but I'm
I just
thinking
get
when
laundry.
Yeah, laundry. People
That
go-
makes
laundry
sense.
smell.
No, I'll run past houses like in Highlandtown and stuff, and you can smell that mothball smell from
Yeah.
outside, and like cigarettes.
I was gonna say that or
Yeah.
marijuana.
Yeah, sometimes, but cigarettes, I'd say. You know that.
Mothballs is one of the least favorite smells.
Oh, yeah, that's.
And
what
it
is-
doesn't
what
go
even
away.
Is that?
It like sticks around forever.
Why is that a thing? Like, why do people do that?
Because it protects your clothing from moths.
Yeah,
I
in
get-
case you wear your
so-
wedding dress again in 60 years.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the
It's
people.
like great.
I've never seen
great
somebody who had
expectations.
like Chanel or Gucci that needed to really take care of their stuff. They didn't have mothballs. It's all these people that had stuff from Kohl's
Yeah.
that had mothballs.
Yeah, you're spending more on mothballs than you spend on your wedding dress.
Well, that's I was telling Megan, we got a fresh baguette
Uh-huh.
and we cut it up and then throw it in the freezer because you know those that have like a half life.
Maybe like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut it up, put it in the freezer, and I put it in this nice Ziploc bag that we have that has like the pull zipper thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this bag's probably more expensive than the actual loaf of bread.
But you reuse it.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
we don't.
Yeah, you just leave it in there until it gets freezer burn, you throw it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, speaking of Ziploc bags, I actually have been meaning to talk about this for at least a year.
Let's hear it.
And
Wow.
I always forget about it.
It's his Roman Empire.
Yeah. Like I honestly have been meaning to talk about it on the podcast, but I've noticed that severe downgrade or deficiency in Ziploc bags since the pandemic started. So like if you get lunch meat at the grocery store, the quality of bags, depending where you go, has deteriorated so much that
So you're not saying Ziploc, you're saying closing, like not the brand Ziploc.
right, like the lunch meat bag, like packaging that they'll use at the lunch counter or whatever.
Yeah.
Lunch
What
counter?
would I wonder
Meat
what
counter?
the generic term for the press and seal bags would be? Maybe that's
yeah.
it, press and seal.
A Ziploc. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I've noticed it just has gone downhill to the extent that this, you know, when they put the sticker on to close it up,
Yeah.
when you can be as gentle as you can, taking that
And
sticker
just rips
off,
a hole in the
rips
bag.
a hole in the bag. I'm like, now I have to use another bag, or just maybe risk
Eat all
getting
the
E.
meat.
coli.
Harris Teeter it has the like reusable one.
I've noticed those
Top.
break down too.
Yeah,
And they
but
break real
that's
fast,
that's
but-
boar's head level. That's like
Yeah.
outside of my
Wait,
price range.
what kind of meat are you eating? And
Oh,
people,
like-
people, let's be honest. Robbie, you make a decent living.
Dude, it's lunch meat. If I
Like you could have,
Lunch meat
I mean,
is
I'm not eating-
ridiculously expensive.
it is. I'm not eating head cheese or anything, but
Robbie could afford boar's head if he wants it.
I don't know, dude. That's like $13 a pound
Yeah,
around
it
here.
is.
Yeah.
At the Highland Town.
Yeah,
they-
but if you buy a sandwich or go out, like
Yeah.
it's still cheaper than that.
barely though.
Like go to Ekeben.
Yeah, but that's a different story. But if you get a normal just sandwich with the fixins, but the where I go, it's like
I wish there was a good
$7 a pound for lunch for turkey. So that's
Yeah.
half.
We talked
50%.
about this. You go to
The markets at Highland Town.
yeah.
Yeah.
It is weird. Like from at one end of our street is basically Bargain Central, and on the other side is Gucci.
Yeah.
like
It's not a whole.
Sprouts.
I mean, Harris Teeter. Oh yeah, Sprouts is kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Sprouts. Speaking of smells, Sprouts has a weird smell. Like
Really?
it has like a earthy, I don't know, like vitamin smell.
You know what it smells like? It smells like your first grade teacher that was into meditating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Definitely some dream catchers. They should just hang dream catchers by the front door.
Do you know what I
probably
get? I
do.
do buy my incense there.
Do you?
I love incense.
I hate
Megan doesn't
incense.
like it. So
Hate them.
when I go take my Epsom salt bath,
Yeah.
it's lights out, incense
Really?
burning,
No way, dude.
Like,
you have
I
a whole
love it.
setup.
It's
I
like a
love it.
whole thing.
and then I come out of there, and
And then
I
you
love
shake
it.
your rain stick a couple times. Dude, rain sticks are awesome.
Dude, I never had one, but every time I went to Sharper Image, I'd flip one of those over.
When you go to the mall. Oh, every time you go to the mall, it's like there's certain traditions. You go into Spencer's, look at the like kind of dirty stuff, and then maybe same thing at what's the bookstore, Walden Books or whatever. And then you go to the weird thing with like fountains.
Sharper Image.
But yeah, there's another store that just had all the hippie stuff where
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just like
like bamboo.
bamboo, there's little fountains, and then the rain stick. You gotta shake the rain stick.
Here's the thing: if you work at one of those places, when you see a kid going up to that stick, are you like,
Oh yeah.
dude, kill me?
Yeah, they hate their lives.
They probably don't even hear it anymore.
Well, they're probably worried that it's just going to rain for the next 40 years straight because of how many times people are shaking that stick.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm surprised we're all still alive for how many times that those rain sticks have been shaken up.
But I love it because even after I take my Epsom salt bath,
Mm-hmm.
the lingering scent of the incense,
the worst.
I love that. like the house smell. Like when you say house smell, I love.
That smells like your first grade teacher, some hippie lady walking
Yeah.
around in a
I
long
didn't.
dress.
I didn't say I hated her.
Yeah.
Second check-in. You know what's fun? Getting up when it's really cold out. You look out your window and it looks dreary and just horrible outside. But you know, you've got motivation to get out there because you're doing the grit and you want to get those miles in. And maybe you're not even doing grit, but maybe you see some people doing grit and you're like, I'm inspired. I want to start the year off with some miles. Just get out there. You know what? It's like a cold plunge. It's like you just got to jump in, get it over with. So put on your tights, get on your long sleeve shirt, throw on your gloves, and get out there and get those miles in.
No, I mean that's good. Incense was cool though. There's so many. Do you get like have different flavors or whatever?
Yeah, I got all of my. They're not
Flavors.
even names I know because they're all like, Indian,
Yeah.
like dharamsala. I don't know. That's probably something to eat. But there's like
Sounds good to me.
yeah. There's all these.
Yeah, and do you use patchouli as a?
I do. I don't.
Okay.
Who did
You
I
do?
smell who was wearing
I
like?
thought you did for like a time.
No, I did use that. What it was I used that natural deodorant the guy sent us. to
Yeah,
try
that's
out.
what it was.
And
Yeah,
I like
that was good.
that.
I
Yeah.
did too. Do you still have it, or do you use
No,
it?
I
all?
used it all up.
Nice.
And I was like, I went to purchase it again because I actually do like the product.
Mm-hmm. What was the name of it?
I think it's human.
Yeah, you're right.
And I went to purchase it, but like there's certain things that buying online are harder for me than other things like deodorant.
So they didn't get you an Instagram ad, so you can't buy it.
Yeah, they got to do their Instagram ad. I did buy new purchases from Instagram.
What? How's it going, Meg?
Every day. He's like, so I bought something on Instagram. And I'm like,
I can't wait for this.
Did you guys get a storage unit yet?
This
I'll put that out there.
This one's good, except for they sent it to the wrong address. They sent it to our old office address, which I don't even know. Like,
Oh,
Apple, man, get your shit together.
yeah.
Because, like, how do you have addresses stored in Apple that don't exist anymore?
Oh,
for
that
me?
old address. You might as well get it to
I know.
sent to the state penitentiary.
yeah,
It's probably
it's
easier to
gone.
get it.
Yeah. So I wanted to actually try the product here on the show, and we could see if it actually works.
So you didn't get
It's
it
supposed
yet?
to work that fast.
You didn't get it yet?
No.
Is this another Delta 9 thing?
No.
Okay.
You're
That's
gonna
cool,
want.
though.
You're gonna want some.
Oh,
Did you tell him about the pants? Did we tell you about the pants?
and it's not
he got?
colostrum
I
either?
had to send the pants back.
Really?
Pants were so bad.
Pants?
I
They
saw
just have a
these
lot of
pants.
pockets or something?
No,
They were like the balloon pants.
they're baggy. I wanted a baggy leg pant.
Is it because of that Instagram reel you saw? Or that girl you saw on the street that you're talking about?
No. No. That hers actually closed up at the bottom.
Yeah.
I wanted like you remember when we went out to Oakland and all the cool people kind of had like baggier pants.
Did they come with a pair of rollerblades or not?
No, I don't
Okay.
think so.
Like it's Janko, like bigger than Janko's?
No,
You know what? Just put a picture up in the podcast.
it's called like nothing something or something.
Nothing
That's the brand.
The something is in the word or
Nothing something. I think is the brand.
He put them on like all excited, and I was like, absolutely not. Dude, you can't go out in public in those.
dude.
Did you find them?
Yeah.
Let me see them.
I mean, I like the confidence, but dude, is that it?
It's similar to it. Yeah, something like that. That I don't think those are the one. But yeah. It's like these right here.
Oh,
That's what I
I
wanted.
get what I see your angle,
No.
but I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how to sit. I don't
Megan's
know how to
like-
talk about this.
And Megan tried to compliment me out of the pants. She said, "You have such a nice figure in those hide." I'm like, really?
So you did wear them and then you sent them back?
I tried them on.
I mean, they have cool marketing.
Yeah.
I'm
Got
sure like
Thomas.
any of those guys that work for Norda could pull it off.
Right. That's what I was totally inspired
Oh,
by.
that's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, weren't they male models who you were hanging out with?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
so
want to.
let's
Wait, am I
go
not a
ahead.
male model?
But why male models? All right, don't do it. Yeah.
You can read minds.
Speaking of male models, you know how like when you type in something into the search bar and it auto completes? Well,
on your computer. By the way, are you all these searches? Are these on your business computer?
yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's why he doesn't
Putting that on
care.
my personal.
It's robot sex.
And I was going to type in MailChimp for our email stuff.
Sure.
And I guess I typed in mammal, spelled MAMIL. And have you ever looked that up?
Mammal?
Sure haven't.
So it's mammal is an acronym and a pejorative term for a middle-aged man in lycra, which is basically like
Us.
men who ride an expensive racing bicycle for leisure while wearing body-hugging jerseys and bicycle shorts.
That's definitely me.
That's you.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I'm surprised you're not on here. But I didn't know there was like a term for that.
You didn't scroll far enough, I
know?
don't think.
That's hilarious. I'm sure people here have heard of that.
I was not familiar.
So yeah, middle-aged man in lycra.
I mean, you can check our Faster Bastards. We've got several pictures.
How do you think
Oh, yeah,
you
it's
get
basically
on
an
that?
OnlyFans for that.
How do you think you get on those images? Because those
Yeah,
guys,
those
that's
poor
pretty
guys.
rough for those guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that, they don't want to be there.
I am surprised sometimes.
I mean, hey, they're getting in shape or at least
Yeah.
doing something active.
I mean, yeah.
Body positive, Megan. Body positive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like cycling is one of those things where,
Why do people hate it so much?
I mean, I think it's because you look like a douchebag if you're cycling. I think it's mainly a thing.
Also, like, it's very expensive.
No, I think people hate it because there is a certain hatred for cyclists just in general because it's like you are taking up my space and things like
On
that.
the road?
Yeah.
Like, are you talking about drivers?
Oh,
Like
Yeah.
I think
feel
it
the
stems,
opposite.
that's the root of it.
But
Yeah.
why wouldn't you just flip that and be like, you cars are taking up?
Because everyone feels like they're part of the car ecosystem, even if you ride a bike. And I feel like there's just more embedded culturally within. That's a whole other thing I can get on. But I wanted to do this, like not a poll, but just ask the question someday if there's anything in your life that you were at some point in your adult life you made a 100% circle on. Or not a
something you
180,
didn't
not
like,
a
yeah.
circle, but a 180. And I would say that's one of the things for me was like cycling.
Wait, you now like it or don't?
I do. So when I was growing up, I hated cyclists, like hated cyclists, which is weird because I rode my bike everywhere. But just living in the country, like that's the like general ethos around cyclists is this is get off the effing road.
I
like,
never knew this existed until like the last couple of years.
oh yeah.
Like I guess also I grew up
You
in
grew up in
California,
California, yeah.
and like riding your bike to school, like the bike culture is much bigger.
No, I mean, there's like a real hatred for like bike cyclists. I don't know where it comes from or how it's embedded, but it is just like there.
People, they're just people
Yeah.
on bikes with spandex.
And this is what I'm trying to say. I don't know where it even comes from. I think it's just part of this, like, this is cars belong on the road, get off the road. And it's that culture, especially out in the country, is like, that's just
when we
what
did
it
that
is.
100-mile bike ride,
Yeah.
we got cold rolled.
Oh, yeah.
And then one of the guys,
I would have done that if I was 16 and had a diesel truck. I would have definitely done that too.
And when her brother got hit, like a guy, what he did was he had one of those like trucks with the rear view mirrors that go out real far.
Yeah.
And he just came over and knocked him right off his bike with his,
all my friends that do like
rear
try to
mirrors.
buzz you, like for sure growing up.
That's
Like,
terrible.
It is horrible. But I made, since living in Baltimore, I made a complete 180 on that where I'm like, probably like, as I hate cars, like I would abolish cars if I had the chance to almost.
Yeah,
Like,
I do. I feel like the one thing that would make any city better is getting rid of cars.
Yeah. And if you look at any of those European cities that shut down their like city center to cars, it's like the most magical place. Everyone loves it.
Yeah. People are walking, they're
Yeah.
outdoor, there's no traffic. Just, yeah.
So I don't know. That's one thing where, and I feel horrible about it in hindsight, but when you grow up in a culture
Okay.
like that, you just don't know any, like that's just what you do.
I guess the thing that I would equate it to when you say a 360, I was real into vandalism and stuff when I was a teenager. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I got pretty much sent away because of that.
Right.
But you know, it is one of those things where I do kind of wish I could go back and fix some of the damage
Yeah.
that I did.
Right.
And at the same time, I think that now there's more creative ways in which to get what I wanted to get from that out. But like I was a little punk. Like I was like,
Well, that's part of the thing when nowadays if someone does something when they're 13 or 14 and it's all recorded and people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you can't go to college here, do this or this because you did that thing." Like I'm like that's not good because you could have given them the opportunity to learn from their mistakes and be like become a better person, but now they're just going to go more down that path because you're like, "Well, like
What's the point?
Yeah, like I'll just keep doing this."
I tell Megan all the time, like I am so happy that there was no
For sure.
way to record the stuff that we were doing.
But that's
when I was
what
a kid.
and that's what kids are supposed to do though. You make mistakes, you mess up, you do probably some awful things, most kids. And then you learn from them, hopefully. And hope if you go to college, get a better worldview of things. But yeah, if they like it's so good that we didn't have that stuff. Anyways, so
Dude, even when I was in college,
yeah.
I'm lucky that stuff wasn't recorded.
But it's also just different time culturally.
It is. I mean, like the freedom that we had, I don't think is ever coming back.
No, definitely not. But yeah, anyways, all that to say, I guess that's a long tangent, but I do think about things
Milk?
that like that you can like people can change their minds on that maybe they didn't think they would, and hopefully that still happens, but I don't know. I mean, running is even the same thing for me, I guess. I hated running too. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I did too.
a little bit different. But it's kind of interesting because you think, what else in my life, like, am I wrong on now that maybe I could change in 10 years and be different about? Or do you think you're become more entrenched in it?
I think unfortunately you become more entrenched.
I
I think a
not.
lot of times that you seek out reinforcing viewpoints. And
I mean, I think especially nowadays, yeah, that's the problem.
well, that's a crazy thing. I started noticing, like, even on social media, like they keep feeding me stuff that I'm like, that's a little bit too far in one direction.
Yeah,
And it makes like, that's the algorithm. They know that you're going to stop and watch that.
it's
I'm
true.
like, oh, I hate that. Like, and I almost feel like some of the stuff that they're sending me reinforces like things I don't want.
Right, yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's true. And so you got to be like way super intentional about broadening your perspective. Otherwise, you'll just get stuck in that silo.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Very philosophical talk we got into today.
yeah, you never know where it goes.
I never know.
You know what we had to do, the reader poll from last week.
Let's hear it.
What was the poll? Oh, I asked what was your favorite running memory of 2023? Because we were sharing our 2023 breakdown. So do you think I should go over a couple of them?
Yes.
Just like some really cool ones.
Someone said spraining my ankle on mile 2 of the Long Beach half marathon, still being able to finish under 150.
That
That's
sounds
cool.
painful.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be my favorite memory.
Yeah.
No, that's
Probably
actually a
my
good
least
point.
favorite.
Someone won their sectionals meet for cross country, and of course, listening to you guys.
Hey.
So that's cool.
I like that.
And I'm assuming that person's younger, so shout out to you. Running through the Wellesley Scream Tunnel with Celine Dion's "It's All Coming Back to Me Now" playing in my
Okay.
headphones. Dude,
That's rad.
you just leveled up with that.
But the headphones on that course, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
but
maybe
it's
if they
Celine
had
Dion?
the Shocks headphones,
Yeah,
probably because
okay.
she could hear the
Yeah.
screaming. So,
I mean, yeah, that timing is pretty epic.
oof, that is a good one.
Can anybody sing any of that?
I could, but it wouldn't be great. I know the line, "There's nights of endless pleasure," which is like, dude, that's endless. Like, that's a long night.
What happened to Celine Dion? She's got some illness now. Like,
Really?
She can't.
Oh, she can't
She's got,
sing.
like-
Isn't that Shania Twain?
Muscle.
No, Shania Twain's back.
Shania Twain had Lyme's disease,
And she like, oh, that's right, yeah.
No, but like Celine Dion has some muscle.
atrophy thing.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Like Bell's palsy?
I don't know. It's something crazy.
You guys both have computers.
Yeah, I don't feel like. I need to stick on these comments.
Should Okay.
And then someone said, listening to y'all on my lonely long runs this year. Thank you for making me laugh and smile countless times. You got it, Lois. And yeah, a lot of good ones on there. So
it's called stiff person syndrome.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't want to say it.
I think it's called being dead.
Rigor mortis.
Yeah.
It's also something that people are taking little blue pills for.
Dude, there's no way that's there's no way.
It's an autoimmune reaction where the body attacks nerve cells
Thomas
in
has
the
had it for
central
years.
nervous system that controls muscle movement. I don't know why it's called that, but
Because you're stiff.
okay. Anyway, should we talk about the Rebel?
No,
Yeah, we
I want to
should.
keep talking more about the stiff person syndrome. Dude.
Reach behind you, May. Give me that. Give me the Rebel 2. All right, final check-in. You know, you could throw it all to the side and do like Robbie, where you just try to get all your miles in one day. So if you want to do that, just, pick your goal and run as fast as you can towards that goal. Or you can make sure that you're planning ahead and do like little chunks at a time to add up to a big amount. So like the choice is yours. But I don't know, there's something exciting about just going out and knocking out a big run like Megan or, a 50K like Robbie. It sounds fun. So think about it. Let's talk a little bit about
Wow,
the
those
Rebel.
look like two very different shoes.
I know, but this one, the first Rebel I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really nice because it had a weird upper, and I had mentioned, oh, wow, the tongue is similar. I didn't even realize that. Feel that tongue.
What, this one and the...
Yeah, this has that felty tongue.
I just thought that they didn't finish making the tongue on the new one.
That's what I thought with the Elite. I was like, what happened here?
Yeah.
I felt like, hey, here's the costume.
They're like, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's close
Oh,
enough.
we forget a tongue?
But the first one I really liked, but the upper I thought was a little crazy. And I really liked...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I like the I forget which upper it was for. It wasn't as maybe it was a Zante.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a Zante
was.
upper, and I just mentioned it, and the good folks at New Balance sent me the first pair with the original midsole and outsole, but with the upper from the Zante.
So the
on it.
Rebel one, oh, Ralph.
No.
Ralphie's a Rebel. So the first midsole, the Rebel V1 midsole with the upper of the Zante 4?
I think it was like the Zante.
Yeah, sounds right.
I forget.
Okay.
It's out there. It might
All right.
not even be the Zante.
Anyways.
I'll have to pull
It
up.
was Zante. I remember
Yeah,
that.
it was.
Okay, it's out in the cabinet out there. Anyway, and I really liked it. We didn't want to review it because I didn't want to be like, this is better than the original, but I did kind of feel like it was. And then they came out with this one, the
V2.
Rebel V2, and I thought this was like one of the most beautiful shoes I'd ever seen.
At the time, for sure. It was like, that was definitely one of the shoes of the year that year.
I mean, when I opened the box and saw this, and then it's so light, and I believe, is this a TPU blend foam?
I don't really know or remember.
It's nice. It's almost like a supercritical. It might be a supercritical. It had bounce. It had niceness. It's so light, and you could kind of use it for daily trainer.
Yeah, it was one of those shoes that just people loved in general.
Yeah. Light, fast feeling on the foot. I'd call it a tempo shoe, but it's not like, I wouldn't put it in the same category as like the Pace or, like Takumi-san or anything like that. It's just a lighter, faster, like daily trainer. I guess in some ways a tempo shoe.
Yeah.
And then last year, the V3 came out, and I did not like it at all. They I thought they
Tamed it down.
made it bland.
Yeah.
It was no longer, they shouldn't have called it a Rebel and had it look so plain. And
Yeah, it was okay, but it was nothing like to write home about.
yeah. I mean, some people like it. I didn't even like it. I thought the foam was a little too squishy and thin. Like it just didn't do anything for me. So I was really happy to see that, even just in styling before you tried it on, the shoe's back to kind of having a unique, interesting, exciting look to it that doesn't look like you'd see it on like a daily trainer.
So the deal with it, I just kicked your dog in the head. Sorry,
He
Ralph.
didn't even bark.
I said sorry. Stop looking at me like that. No, we're cool. So the new one has like an angular design. Now, here's the thing. I've seen some comments, maybe just one, but someone
It's
said.
polarizing.
Not that it's just polarizing, but that the New Balance seems to be year to year jump all over with the design aesthetic. I think it's good every time. It's just maybe not a lot of consistency.
Well, I
What-
think the whole point now is so that the line looks like the fuel cell line, all the shoes
Yeah.
look similar.
And I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, why does it have to look the same every year?
Yeah, I don't care. I mean, as long as it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
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 Plus, like the aesthetic changes every year of what we like and
Yeah.
what changes.
If there's one thing I would say is, as much as I like this new look, and I do kind of like this angular, looks like radar, anti-radar detecting shapes. That we had the all white pair that Megan's wearing, and we did a post yesterday of the shoe, and we didn't want to start with the white one because we were like, it'll look too much like we're just posting the SC trainer that we already had,
Elite.
or SC Elite that we already had.
I
And-
can't tell them apart just looking at them. I'll
From
be
far
real.
away, yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it looks like the same shoe.
Yeah. But I've now worn this for, so if I had 30 miles, I get close to 40 miles now.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of those shoes that I've been like, I like going back to. Like I could, like I'm going to force myself to, we've got another shoe that's got to be reviewed. So I'm going to drop this one and try on the other one. Things that I don't like about it is a little on the wide side, the
Yeah.
platform, like just the foot shape. Now you love that.
Yeah.
So-
I have a wider foot, so it's like, yeah, I think the fit is really nice and accommodating. I think people with a wider foot will definitely appreciate that. I didn't love it on my first run, but I think it was partially because I had just done my previous runs in super shoes with carbon fiber plates. And
See, and I took it out for the first run was 13.1 miles. And I thought, this shoe feels fantastic. Like I could wear this every day and it's super light. Like for my size 10 and a half, it's under 8 ounces. It's
Yeah.
7 something. It's like
mine's
7.6.
Mine's like 5 ounces.
Yeah.
So it just feels light on the foot. The cushioning is good enough to go those longer distances. Like I'd have no problem going above 13.1 miles in it.
I think that is true. I think it's a lot different than the past two Rebels in that way, though.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a different sort of shoe. I mean, still lightweight. I guess it's just the evolution of it.
Yeah. Like this is actually what I wish I was thinking about today. I was like, this is what I wish the Kinvara had evolved into.
Okay.
It's lightweight, but still has enough cushioning that I feel like if I wanted to run a marathon in this, I could run a marathon in it. And it's so light on the feet.
Yeah. The more I've run in it, the more I've enjoyed it. So I feel like, I don't know.
The only thing I would say is I feel like under the front, people love it when I say fat pad, under the fat pad, it does feel like it's starting to maybe compact a little bit. I don't know if that was just my run today and I was feeling more the forefoot or if it actually is compacting.
It's also now a PIBA EVA blend midsole, whereas before they didn't have any.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only run it twice, just because, I've been running trails and stuff. But I really did like the ride underneath, especially better. Yeah, everything what you guys said. But I don't know, the upper.
You were saying
It's
like
a little long.
the
on me.
collar?
Yeah,
Or-
the collar. Like this was, the lateral side was kind of digging into my foot, but I don't know what that was.
I mean, it's not a low collar. Like your foot sinks in there pretty good.
I will say, I've never gotten a good fit in New Balance uppers. Like, I don't know if it's the shape of my foot. I just feel like I can never get like a great lockdown. Or just, it's kind of like how Patagonia, like their clothes, I'm always like right in between them.
Yeah.
No matter what size they are. And so I just stopped wearing them.
Well, I felt like
or even trying to buy them.
like with Patagonia, you get either like a square fit
Yeah.
or a long fit.
Right.
And like if you buy one thing, you'd be like, oh, that's weird. I've got plenty of room to the side, but it hits right at my belt. And then you'll get another piece and you'd be like, there's plenty long, but it's Fits like a sausage packing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know. I just personally, it felt a little bit too much room, and cinching it down created some whatever puckering.
I didn't feel like it was easy to cinch this one down because it is wide. Like I noticed I like to wear a thicker sock in it just because if you look at it from the toe down, like it's not like the upper has a way to like cinch this part in. And I'm pointing at the toe box. So there's no way. So it kind of tents out on the side and it's a little roomy for me. But I think that's New Balance's thing. Like I feel like they're more accommodating to the wider foot crowd. And like I almost wonder, could Jarrett wear this without it being a wide model?
He probably could. It's crazy too how wide the platform is.
Yeah.
I forgot about that about the Rebel because I just looked at the V2 right now. I'm like, I did not remember it being that wide. But that's good.
Robbie, you'd love this. I think I have a thorn stuck in mine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let me get out with my teeth.
Yeah,
You won't do it?
No, I actually won't do that.
Really? What if I told you there's 25 cents hidden underneath of it?
If they told me that thorn was made out of gold, we might have a different story on my hands. You need some pliers for that.
Yeah, and I'm going to need that little thing.
I found a license plate this morning, though.
Yeah?
Maryland one.
You going to throw it on your
Just if I ever need to, escape.
quick getaway?
Keep it for later.
Yeah. So overall, I really like the shoe. It's probably...
And $140.
Yeah, I was
too.
going to say the price point's pretty legit.
Yeah. I really like it.
Yeah.
I know, whatever.
I mean, and I got an all white pair, so obviously that helps.
And
I mean, look,
it feels good to come back to a shoe that I loved this one, and I really liked the one before it. And originally, that's one thing they've gotten away from. The extreme shaping on the original one, it winged out on the lateral side real far to kind of drive you back onto your toe for push off. So their whole thought process on the original Rebel was to kind of give your foot a different kind of guidance in the shoe, and it's pretty much gone as far as from this shoe. It's not the same setup.
It's interesting because it looks like a way higher stack, but I think your foot sits down in it. It
It
says
does.
total stack height 30 in the heel and 24 in the forefoot.
I would argue it's more than that.
It
Yeah.
has to be more than that, dude. Like total stack height?
What are you saying?
That looks more.
They're-
That looks closer to 40.
And I know it's your foot sits down in it a little bit, but
I mean, pull out the insole, and then
well,
like,
that's
if
then
you- yeah.
the
Insole
insole
should be part
is
of it.
total stack height.
It's total stack.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
I mean, yeah, that's got to be.
And it feels like plenty of cushioning underfoot. Like
because the Takumi Sense 33, that's definitely at least
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
much.
I feel like this shoe competes with maybe like the same person who would buy Nova Blast,
Yeah.
yeah.
but this is even lighter than the Nova Blast.
Yeah. So is this more of a daily trainer now? It's kind of is.
I mean,
right?
I would use it as a daily trainer.
Yeah.
I use it, and it's going to spoil you because it's so light that it's as light as a race day shoe. It just doesn't have the same pop from that you're going to get from a plate or
Right.
any kind of stiffening agent. It's just a smooth transition. Megan, what do you think of the rubber on the outsole?
So it's the same stuff they're using on the Elite, and it's fine. It just, I don't know how to say this nicely, but it feels like cheap almost. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it seems like kind of like the tongue. It almost seems like an afterthought. But
Yeah. The tongue's weird. I don't get. Whatever.
If it works though.
I know honestly, it's like
I guess
it's not a problem.
I guess that's a good point.
Yeah.
If it works,
It works, but it is. If you were looking at where maybe they can save money on the shoe on production, it's probably in that like stuff like the tongue, and maybe like if you look at the rubber that was on this one.
Mhm.
I mean,
I was gonna say they should punch some holes in it, but it looks like they did. So never mind.
yeah,
Well,
it needs it
guess
like
they
it,
know
it-
what they're doing.
The grip is good. It just doesn't have like an aggressive feel.
Yeah. All right. So then this shoe comes out when's this come out? March.
March 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess we'll get our written reviews out because people are doing it these days.
Yep.
Maybe we should do a video review.
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned for that.
Cool.
That's it for this week. So yeah, have a good weekend, everybody.
It's what week are we in? This is in
2.
January. 2 weeks into January.
They'll be 2 weeks in.
for grit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many weeks do we get? Is it 5?
I think we
it's-
get
Because if I continue with this, I'll probably be at like 250.
only
No, we only have 4 weekends.
only 4 weekends for grit this time around.
Mm.
But maybe in July. Let's see. I'm gonna check ahead, assuming there's gonna be a grit in July.
Yep.
They're same thing, 4 weekends.
Yeah.
Because it starts on a Monday. The last year, what was it? Last year we had 5 weekends in each of the grits.
That was the best.
That's a nice get
We'll be
that long run bonus.
Yeah, and we appreciate your patience. Like we always send out the gear at the same time. It's during the event that we start sending it out. We are getting stuff shipped out as it becomes available. So you're going to start seeing people get their gear. If you haven't gotten your gear, don't worry. Still packing it up.
Yeah.
And then we actually have a surprise for a few lucky people that are going to get an embroidered jacket
What?
upgrade.
Wait, I didn't know about this. How's this work?
How this works?
Yeah.
We're picking a random group of people that will be getting an embroidered jacket. So they're getting a
Is this just a
step
mess
up.
up at the printer, or how's that work? All right, whatever.
Yeah,
It's still cool.
it's
That's
very
rad.
cool. Yeah,
I mean, I just watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory last night. That's the old one.
Mhm.
Like showed that to my kids for the first time.
it's not creepy.
Yeah, I forgot about. I knew the tunnel scene was creepy, but I forgot that a chicken gets its head cut off in that sequence.
I don't
And-
remember that.
Yeah,
either.
and that like centipede crawling on a guy's mouth,
Okay.
and I was like, that's kind of weird to put that in a kid's movie.
Dude, we used to do weird stuff to kids, like that Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh yeah,
That
Child
one,
Catcher.
yeah, that one's we've talked about that before. I mean,
Yeah.
like even if you look at the old stop motion animation stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like there was the Nazi guy running around,
Oh, yeah,
taking
that
the
was-
toys from the kids.
They did crazy stuff back then. There were no rules,
Yeah.
no cultural rules. But yeah, it was so I guess that's kind of our version of the golden tickets then, the embroidered stuff.
Yes,
Okay.
so they're getting it's a nice jacket. It's like a close to $200 jacket that they're getting upgraded to.
What jacket is it?
I'll have to show you.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right. That's cool.
but yeah,
So it's just going to be random throughout the grit. It's just going to show up in their packaging if they got
in
it.
their packaging. If you got that, you got the lucky jacket.
Okay. And do you want to leave a Venmo if anyone wants to see if they're lucky?
Yeah.
To see if believe they're on Venmo.
Yeah. Just care of Robbie.
Yeah.
Redinger. Consider it a found jacket on the street.
Just DM me on Instagram and I'll give you the link to sign up for the sweepstakes. All right, cool. Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Hi, Ma.